We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jack Butala here.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2012, and today we're talking about 3 ways to deal with competition in your land business. Oh my gosh, is this a hot topic? Jack,
What? Wait, there's competition?
For 3 years straight, all I did was mail Metro Dallas for infill lots. I did 20 deals a month. I just did it again last month, and I only got 10 deals. I only got 2 deals. It didn't work at all. Why? I want it to go back the way that it was.
What do I do?
You know what, Land Academy member? So do I. I want to go back to 1994.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. Total timeout. I would love to wait. Hold on a moment. Let's think about this for a second. We're gonna do a little sidebar here. If you could go back to any year in your life, what year would it be, and why?
You know what? This is from my soul.
I'm writing mine down.
I would not go back.
Oh, that's too bad. Hold on a minute.
What's your year? She's going to say 1985.
No, 1990.
Really? 1990?
Yeah.
What did you do different?
I didn't have a care in the world.
You know what? Neither did I. It was 1990. I was absolutely freaked out about, this is what ManPlan's about. If you don't know about ManPlan, please go to manplan.com. I'm filming it and writing it right now. It's for people who, you're a man, you need a plan. And if, men make plans. I think women want to have not a care in the world.
Let me tell you where I was in 1990. Let me paint this picture. I moved in to a 3-bedroom apartment on the beach with 4 flight attendants. We had the best parties. People would fly in to come to our parties. It was awesome. I loved it. I miss those days.
I'm not saying I didn't. I've never, and there's no period in my life starting from when I was about 14 years old that I've suffered from a lack of a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that.
Well, true.
Including yesterday.
But I didn't have care in the world. I made great money. I had no problem paying my bills, everything, and I could go to any concert I want.
So what happened?
And that was it.
What happened? What changed?
I got transferred.
This is way more fun than talking about
This
life.
is very good, actually. Well, it was American Airlines, and they closed the LA office, and they moved me to Arizona. And so my choices, and then I thought, well, why not do something different? Why not leave California? This could be a good thing. Make changes good, right? Go what the job is. And okay, let's go to a new state. And Arizona was always and still is very, very good to us. So fast forward, and then what happened? Then I got to Arizona and I got bored, and that's a whole nother story. Then I made some bad decisions.
Now we get to the bottom of it. The stage was set for bad, boredom-driven bad decisions.
That's it.
That's the show.
That's it. So anyway.
I'm bored. Maybe I should get married. I'm bored. Maybe I should have a baby.
Yeah. Maybe we should buy a house.
Nope. Yeah. Let's get some debt.
That's a great idea.
Sprinkle some debt.
Ooh, yeah.
Sprinkle some debt on a bad relationship and a
car that holds a couple car seats.
A couple of babies.
That's a good idea.
Minivan. Get a white minivan.
It was not white. I've never had a white.
All the things I said. Sprinkle some, debt on a bad marriage and a couple of babies and a white minivan, and she picks out. Well, it wasn't white.
There you go. Now you know. I have not, nor will I ever have a white car. Go ahead.
2 periods like that in my life, and I got out of them really fast.
Okay.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And you did too.
I got out of it. I don't say fast. But
Right.
I don't make a lot of... You know what's funny? There's times in my life, like right now, where I'm like, oh, like our staff is like, what happened? Like, let's rip the Band-Aid off. We're running around like crazy people getting stuff done. But it's because I get to the end. I'm like, okay, we're trying to be calm and trying to do this right. And then I'm like, nope, over. All right, back to the show. Sorry.
Each week on the show, we answer a question. In this case, 2 questions from our Land Academy member Discord forum. And we take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request from our Land Academy community. And today's topic is 3 ways to deal with competition, because it is the topic, not only within our group, but all over the internet. What are we going to do?
Right.
I'm not the only one sending a mailer to Dallas right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 other people doing it.
Okay, so I'm just looking ahead. Okay, so I have 2, are they 2 separate questions?
Yeah.
You want me to pause in between?
Very separate, yeah.
Okay. So Jen wrote, when evaluating a property that has come back from a mailer as a possible acquisition, do you send a realtor out to look at the property to give a listing price opinion while still in negotiation with the seller? Or wait till it's under contract? I have a property that's an anomaly in its area and hard to comp. The seller countered my offer, so I was hoping to get an opinion from a local realtor. I thought about contacting Whitetail because I found a Whitetail guy with other similar properties. This is great in the area. But I don't know if I should contact him before I've assigned PA with the seller. Please advise. Thank you. Can I go first?
Oh, yeah. First and final on this.
Oh, okay. So, I would not have any trouble with this. It's when you send out an offer and the person says, no, not good enough. And now you just have no number. You're just nebulous trying to go, well, I don't even know what to come back with. I need to bring in,
yet.
I need to bring in some help. Then that I wouldn't do yet. Then I wouldn't, you need to get a number. But this said, you have the seller that countered a number. So now you have a number. So let's just pretend, Jen, you sent it out for $15,000, right? And you were feeling good about that. You're like, anything can go anyway. I know at $15,000, this is going to be great. And they countered at $25,000. And now you're going, okay, now I really got to think about it. I'm having trouble. I knew at 15 I could make it work no matter what. But at 25, now I'm not so sure my number's going to work. Maybe I need to bring in somebody else. I would have no trouble doing this. This kind of a verbal thing with a seller, I personally feel good with. I'm not going to say, will you sign it, send it to me, and then I'll really get serious about it. No, they gave you a serious number back, and I would be fine, especially too. It sounds like you found somebody good. You found I've worked with several agents from Whitetail Properties, and I think they're great. I would have no trouble calling them. Don't give him all those details. Don't say like I just got a verbal or anything like that. But calling him and letting him go look at it and giving you an opinion, I would be totally fine with that at this point.
I would say I've got a property under contract. Don't say for how much. This is it. What do you think you can sell it for?
I don't even say that. I don't even say under contract. I'm just like, hey, I just got this in and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. What would you sell it for? Like, be real vague. So, hello, Blake. Okay, then Blake wrote, has anyone who is on a consistent mail schedule noticed a dip in calls the past few weeks? Wondering if I messed up my mailer or if it's a seasonal lull with people traveling for the summer.
This, my friend, is why we wrote this topic. Not your question specifically, but many, many, many others with the same sentiment. What's going on? I sent a mailer out, and it's not performing the way that I want. To which I answer, and my short answer is, and Jill and I are going to get into the topic here in 1 second. Welcome to the business. Welcome to any business. There's ups, there's downs, there's great months, there's bad months, there's mediocre months, and when you average it all out, hopefully, there's a little bit money left over.
Right.
And that's what this is.
Well, I have to say, sometimes, though, I do have to agree. There are weird things. Like, think about you, Blake. I mean, just to be honest, Blake, you're a Land Academy member, because I know you got this came out of Discord, so I know that you're in there. So let's just to back up a minute. Let me think for a second. There's weeks that you are busy, and I know I watch it with Land Academy members, like the week the kids are out of school or a holiday. Sometimes there's a lull in people that show up for the activities and the group calls and things like that. So sometimes there is a little bit of a dip like that. If it lasts for 6 weeks, then we gotta look at it. But if it's a week here and there, and you can go, yeah, kids just got out of school, they're gonna call me. There's an expiration date on it, so. But there are other things going on that you're going to talk about today, too, I know.
Let's do this real quick.
Okay.
Today's topic, 3 ways to deal with competition in your land business. When I was a kid and a young professional, I grew up in an industrial environment. And we I was my friend's parents were somehow usually, well, it was in Detroit, so it was almost always tied to in some way the automotive industry, including my own parents. My dad had a small accounting practice, and my mom had her own psychology clinic type business. So. And then my friend's parents had metal stamping plants and all. But anyway, everybody was tied to the automotive industry. And I remember hanging out with these older people at the time, and some of them would pour themselves a scotch on the weekend and kick their feet up on the desk or wherever we were, and they would just have a big smile on their face and kind of have this aura of, it's just over. I make a bunch of money now. I've got this house and my family, and I'm happy, and I've got a big smile on my face and a scotch in my hand. And I took that very incorrectly to mean, yeah, hey, this guy's arrived. He's done it. It's all good. Nothing to worry about. That doesn't exist. Your business is a messy but somewhat controllable disaster, just like my business is. And it will always be that way. Which is, that guy was kicking up his feet, I realize now, because he was trying to get drunk to forget about what happened that week in his own business and putting a smile on his face. There is no arrival. There's no point where you say, man, whew, I've arrived.
I don't have to do anything now.
I've got the right vice president, the right CEO. I don't have to do anything now.
Yeah. I'm just going to go off and watch the bank balance. Watch the money roll in.
Here's a new address. This is where you send all the money.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and by the way, I expect that same year-over-year 5% growth. Thanks.
Yeah. No, a month over
See
month,
you later.
5% growth.
There you go.
That's 50 or 60% a year.
There we go. I expect that to continue. Without me.
That's just not how this works.
This, right?
Not because it doesn't work like that. Not because of you and something wrong that you're doing. What ends up happening is invariably somebody younger and faster and smarter is going to come up behind you, take a look at what you're doing, and figure out a better way to do it. That is a given. Number one in the three ways to deal with competition is this. Accept that everything is constantly changing. Change is constant. Your supplier's gonna cut you off. Orders are going to go down for some specific part because it's cheaper to get in China. In our case,
good point.
You found you passed a red, green, yellow test. You've been, smashing urban Dallas for infill lots for 2 years straight. Somebody figured it out. Not maybe because they were following you around like they follow us around. Yeah. But just because there's just people found out. The red, green, yellow test got out there. Mm-hmm. Or there's other people in this environment, which is really serious, actually. Other people in this environment that are way less qualified than Jill that are instructing people to send mail like that overpriced. And so that's just, there's a lot of, without getting into a lot of the details, you have to accept and embrace that everything's constantly going to change.
True.
That's it. Or you will not survive. You got to get new customers, sell side. You have to find new sellers in a different way. You have to reach them in a more creative way. Jill and I just recorded, I don't know when it will air, an interview with a 4-year-long member. His name's Josiah Rocco, and he doesn't know this, but he has completely and totally accepted change. Mm-hmm. He has chosen to deal with that change by ruling his market, which is one of the number threes here. Mm-hmm. And so he's just the best person in the market to sell your land to for a bunch of reasons, and it's not just price.
Mm-hmm. This is good stuff.
Number two is what I just said. Get to know between 1 and 4 areas like the back of your hand. So you can start to brand yourself there. Jill has done that in the markets that we're in. We're in about 4 consistent markets. We're always trying to get new markets, but we always go back to those original 4. And Jill's starting to brand herself as a person that buys land in the area and is great to deal with and work with real estate agents and escrow agents and everything.
Mm-hmm. They'll give you properties. They'll send me properties. I'm like, why don't you do this? They're like, yeah, it's not my thing.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
And I'll tell you that what ends up happening there too is it makes it builds your confidence, because at some point, and it'll probably take at least 2 years, years of consistently mailing, maybe 10,000 units a month, what'll end up happening is you'll get some property back, you'll review it, and you will within seconds say, I would love to buy this property, but not at this price. Or I love this block, but not this block. It goes down to the block sometimes.
You'll know it that well. And not only that, you have your team. It just makes it so easy. Susie at ABC Title is on speed dial with you. And maybe you just text her and say, here it comes.
Yep.
Here's the information. Open escrow. And it's just so fast. She doesn't need to ask you everything over again. It goes faster and it might even be cheaper, by the way.
Build this critical mass, too, because now you've got tens and tens of thousands of mailers out in circulation all over the place. And let's call it one state. Mm-hmm. You could do it state-wise. You can do it, county or zip code. I've heard there's one guy we had in our group for a long time. He was just in one subdivision in Texas, and that's it. And he was buying and selling properties. That was his whole career.
Isn't that funny? Well, think about that. Let's just back up. Everybody goes like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, how can you be what if you do one deal a month? And you make sure that one deal a month nets you $25,000. I'm good with that. So you're doing 12 a year. Now you can see like, oh, okay, I can see, especially in some metro big city, how you could do one deal a month in a, pretty, consolidated area and do just great.
It's $300,000 of net. So, it doesn't take a calculator, or you just have to consistently send out.
No, I have you. I don't need a calculator. Thanks for doing the math.
I think that's a compliment, but
some days it is, some days it isn't. You decide.
Number three, and this is imperative. This is man plan stuff. Number 3 is imperative. You need to remove your emotion based on your bank balance or whether or not you had a good month or a bad month. The last thing you need to buy into this business and enjoy it. You need to enjoy land and looking at land and analyzing it. And if you are joining a land academy or any group for that matter, or going into anything, and you're testing the concept, I hate this business of testing. I'm going to send out a test mailer of 200.
Wait, are we on number 3? I'm still trying to slow down. I'm trying to slow this down. Can we circle back around, or should I slow it down?
There's not only 3. That's the kicker. There's going to be a few more.
All right. Well, I want to just make sure that we're really talking about these. So I'm going to ask you to come back around in a minute. So sorry to interrupt you. Please continue on your number 3.
You need to remove your emotion. If you've got some type of figurative gun to your head about getting a deal done this month because you need to make payroll, I'm telling you, this is, in the long run, that type of stressed environment is not going to work. That's not what this is for. You need to make sure that you have no bills, or that your bills are so you have a W-2 job where you can find time in your life to start a company, which is what this is. This is not what everybody else on the internet calls it. Passive income and a side gig, and there's all these cute little names for it. The fact is, you are starting an empire. And it needs capital, it needs your attention and time, and it needs you to believe in it. You are the leader. You're the CEO of it. You need to really grab the thing by the horns and give it what it deserves. Feed it so that it becomes something that you can that you want, and you're hitting your goals. And so, being emotional about having a bad month, you got to barrel through that. Because you believe in the product, you believe in the concept and the business, and you believe in the group that you're in. Hopefully it's Land Academy, because other people are doing it. They've already proven it for you. And you believe in yourself. I think this is the biggest one. The biggest issue with competition is not the competition itself. It's your ability to roll with the changes and your belief in yourself that you can do that and come out of it okay. God, how many times have you and I said, wow, the market changed? Geez, what are we going to do?
How are we funny?
I can't count the number of times.
Well, this is perfect, because I want to circle back through, since we have lots of time. I want to circle back through, and I love your list of 3 here, and I want to talk about them a little bit more with my thoughts on it. So your first one is, okay, again, we're dealing with competition, 3 ways to deal with it. One is you just have to accept it. Totally get it. Like you said, how many times do we go, well, it's changed, it's over, it's done. We don't give up. We don't. We just find a new place, kind of thing. And that's part of it for me. You have to stay on track and stay committed and pivot. And you brought up some really, really good points in the beginning here about no matter what kind of business you have, someone's going to get it cheaper. You could have been the widget king of fill in the blank for 2 decades, and now all of a sudden, here comes the new guy. It's going to happen. I mean, think about Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Think about all the energy drinks. Think about everything. There's always a first guy, and then there's 10 after him. Always. Now, and then the question is, who stays the course? Who lasts? Who rolls with the punches? That's the thing, too, about change. You have to change and adapt. If you say, nope, it's always worked this way, why would I change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Whatever your mindset is, if you don't change and listen to your customers and what they want, they're gonna move on without you. So I really like that. So change and accepting that is huge. I was thinking too, how many times we've pivoted and changed, how many credit card companies that we've gone through back in the day, like they didn't understand our business and they would shut us down. I'm like, I got to be able to accept money. And that was one of the hardest things. Like, people are trying to give me money and I can't take their money. I got to figure something out here. And we got creative. There were many times that we just did weird stuff too. Like, gosh, remember back in the day, I remember people's hasn't happened in probably a decade now, but people would send me checks. I'd have money orders and things like that we'd had to do just to, because people really wanted the property, and we got creative with them. So then I love your, dig into an area that that better than anybody else, and building your team. That's so huge. Like I was starting to talk about, not like you mentioned, a lot of it is how fast you can make decisions now because how well you know the area and what's coming. You know where the Walmart's going in, and where this is, and the good side of the tracks and the not good side of the tracks. That's still a thing. And then my thought is and it does build confidence because you really know what you're doing. And also for me, it's ease. It's money. My life is easier. I'm getting cheaper things done with my same escrow agent. They cut me all these deals because I have 3 I'm throwing in escrow a month, and we don't have to talk that much. I know how she rolls. She knows how I roll. We get these things done, kind of thing. And then your third one, this is good. Just taking yourself, I guess, out of this. You call it remove your emotion or your bank balance.
Take yourself out of it.
You gotta. This is bigger than you.
Yep. Well
this
said.
Is bigger than you, and it is not personal.
That's right.
And being a co-founder of a sweet little land company we're 9 years now, and we're going to be 10 next summer. Boy, if I thought everybody was out to get me, I wouldn't be here right now. I know that, we've helped a lot of careers in a lot of different ways get off the ground, and I can't take it personal. And I have to just trust that, we're doing the right thing. And I know we are. Because we're all doing great. And, I have one last little thing I'd like to add to this is, we talked about it a little bit on the Career Path alumni call with the noise out there. And you know what we all kind of agreed on? No one's listening to the noise. We're ignoring it. We know, because especially Jack and I, well, especially Jack, has weathered 3 real estate storms, we'll just say.
One was a depression,
yeah. In
but
his
a lot
career,
of little ones that I somewhat caused.
Guess what? It works out. So, and it's, if you can, stick with it like we're talking about, don't take it personal, find your niche, accept the change and roll with it. Don't have a big ego and expect to do the same numbers you did last month. So what? Add up the year, divide it by 12. You did fine. And you stay the course. It's going to work itself out. And I hate it. I hate seeing people not make it, but there's a lot of people that won't make it.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people right now that are, that's part of what's going on, I think, too. There's a lot of noise out there. People are like, oh, this land thing. You know, we've talked about this too. I can't remember the last time I had to explain that you could make money selling land. But when we started Land Academy, I was constantly, no one believed me. Not one person would believe you could make money on land. They're like, you're stupid.
For
Jill, you're wrong.
For the first 5
you're
years.
You're not. Oh, you must do something to it. You're not telling me the truth. I'm like, no, really. I'm not doing anything to it. They didn't believe me. So now that's over. Everybody understands that. But there's people that are still, they don't have the right what's the word I'm looking for? Education and knowledge and experience or tenacity to hang with it.
Jill and I have never said this is easy. If you go out on the internet and look at anybody who thinks they can teach this and is teaching it and offering some type of product, the underlying message that they're sending is that this is an easy, fast way to make money.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts.
This is a business, and you can build an empire. We just talked to Josiah again. I don't know when that's going to air. This is his 4th year in the business. He last year top line $3 million, and this year expects to do $7 or $8 million. And he's very humble about it. And he said, "Yep, we did everything wrong. I made a mistake over here. This happened over here." And then he revealed really what motivates him and why he's got to that level. So it's really worth listening to. But he's in this. He's in it full time. He's got full-time people, and he's, managing cash flow and has the same concerns that all of us do. And he addresses them one by one and overcomes them. And how he overcomes them and addresses them this month will be different next month.
Oh, there's going to be a whole new set of issues.
And it'll be different the month after that.
Yeah. What we're dealing with this year in 2024 is going to be so different in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, and think about what we got through since 2020. There's many of you in Land Academy have been with us way before COVID. We all got through it. If anything, it was like we all thought it was going to sink the ship, and then it turned out the opposite effect. That's a thing too. You don't know what you think is going to happen. The outcome might be the opposite. So stay the course and learn to roll with it.
Here's what you have that we never had, and most people don't have. Camaraderie.
I would say us.
You have a group. You have a group of people. So when you have one of those days or one of those months, you can reach out in Discord or reach out to the people that maybe you went through career path with and say, are you having this situation?
That's good.
And a very good chance that they're going to say, oh yeah, I had that last year. Last year in July, the same thing happened to me. This is what I did.
Or how about last week?
Because I'll tell you, I'll give you a great example. Early on in this business, around January 15th, December 15th, everything just stopped. And every single time for years, I said, well, I guess my career's over. My career in buying and selling land's over. I wonder what I'm going to do next year because it's over. The phone's not ringing. I can't send any mail out. And so until I met Jill, and she said, what the hell is wrong with you? It's Christmas. The kids are out of school. I didn't ever think of thing in terms of school and children going to school. Kids are out of school. Everybody's off the internet. Nobody cares about their land. And
give it a minute.
January 15th, all this pent up, oh my God, stuff's going to happen.
And the bills
everybody's
come in.
life returns. And that's exactly what happened. When I look back on it, that's what happened every single year. That's my camaraderie. My first person to really vent and bounce stuff off of was Jill. Now we have Land Academy. And so, Jill and I are doing a product right now personally where we're sending out a bunch of mail and we are seeking funding. We're not the funders. We're usually the funders seeking funding so we can do more deals and have what I call it the limitless capital plan, where we could do 50 deals instead of 10 because we're using some other, a partner.
Sounds like a commercial. Sounds like Capital One. Limitless capital. Don't even. Ooh, we could have a Land Academy credit card.
Stuff's gonna. I thought about that. Stuff's gonna happen. I thought about that a while ago.
That would be really cool. I love that. Good stuff. Thank you.
Jill, you have something to share?
I do. I would. Jack's toggling for me. So here's what's really cool within our group. We're just talking about the community. This is a perfect little segue to what goes on in Land Academy. Talk about a niche within a niche within a niche. We have a Land Academy ladies group. So, and then to take it even smaller of a niche, so some of the sweet gals in the Land Academy ladies group decided to start their own book club. So they held their first book club in June. I unfortunately was tied up with you trying to take down a real estate deal on a Sunday, of course, Sunday afternoon. This is all true. I wasn't playing hooky, and I wasn't there at the book club meeting. So they held it, and I went back later and kind of looked at their notes from the presentation. And it was all about a book that I grew up with. Well, I should say a book. It was all around my life growing up. My dad, if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that my dad was a coach at Dale Carnegie. And boy, Jack just has, when he met me, he just embraced that with open arms. Not. So it gets a little tired of it. But that's just kind of how I roll around. But you know what? I actually have veered away, right? I have veered away a little bit from some of the original Dale Carnegie things. And my point in bringing all this up is just not about the group and the ladies and how awesome they are and that they did this, but it was just kind of thinking about, I went back and looked at the notes from the call, and it made me go back and reintroduce myself to some of the thinkings there. And gosh, it's so powerful. And at the end of the day, this is really a lot of the way I get deals done. The way that you talk to people, the way you approach things, the way you don't, complain about things, the way you try to give honest and sincere appreciation, and the way you try to inspire people by being genuinely interested in what they have to say. I do this all the time with sellers. That's how I get them smiling. I haven't talked about this in a while, but a couple years ago we did these intensive workshops. It was kind of right after COVID, and I did a whole thing about winning over these sellers, and that was one of my thing. Gosh, before you pick up that phone, you better have a smile on your face. If you don't think that matters, I'm telling you it does. They know if you're smiling or not on the other end of the phone. Gosh, using their name, really listening and taking in what they have to say, making them feel important. Does all this make sense? Well, yeah, duh. This would make, boy, if I was talking to a seller and I had this attitude, yeah, Jill, it probably would work. That's why I'm bringing it up. This is a lot of where it comes from. So, be friendly, try to get them saying yes. There's other little things that I'm trying to pick out. And be sympathetic. Whatever's going on in their life, I'll end it on that.
Yeah.
These sellers are calling you because of a situation.
What you're saying,
and you need to be sympathetic about whatever it is they're dealing with. Whoever passed on, whatever financial situation's going on. Being sympathetic is great. So
what you're saying is get yourself prepped and in the mood quickly when the phone rings to provide the best type of meet them from where they're coming as a seller. So you can do a deal.
Yeah, that works. What do you have to share with us today? I know you have something good that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, this occurred to me because like most of the topics here, I've made this mistake in the past and really learned from it, learned that I was wrong. And so, you can't cynical your way into wealth. You can't sit around, and especially this day and age where there's just so much negative stuff out there, politics and bifurcation, and I've met, I don't know if it's me but I've met more people recently in the last couple of years that, especially young people, that just say, my way's better, and I'm not going to learn anything. I don't have any questions for you. I don't know, and these are people that truly have done nothing with their lives. I mean, that's not coming from, look at this over here, what I created, you should be asking me questions. It's not that. So you can't cynical your way into wealth. You're alienating people. You're making yourself angry. It's exact opposite of what Joe was saying. Get yourself in a happy place before you talk to a seller, and it'll come off that way. What you can do is you can camaraderie your way into wealth. That's what Land Academy is. That's why we created it, to create an environment for people where we can do partnership deals with, whether it's fund them money or have other people fund us money, or if we had a couple deals come in northern New York, let's say, there's several people in our group that I would call, and because I'm not a specialist in northern New York at all. And if they came back, the deals look pretty good. What did I miss? I would utilize the people in our group. I would camaraderie my way into doing a deal and not sitting there saying, New York, who wants to live in New York? Remember that? People used to say that all the time. Who wants to live way out there? Why would you ever buy land out there? And that's cynicism is just not appropriate in this environment. It's not going to get you wealthy.
That's a good one. It's another phrase saying that I haven't heard in a long time. What was it? Junk lot.
Junk land.
Junk land.
Yeah.
Oh, junk land way out there. I haven't heard that in a long time. That's kind of funny. That used to be a thing. Yeah.
Join us next Wednesday for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property. See you next week.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.